All right, guys, check it out. So I just thought of something pretty cool, and that is, how do you keep making progress on and on, basically forever? Because I've been training for 13 years now, and thankfully I'm still hitting lifetime PRs on like a weekly basis, on bench press, on block pulls, on deadlift. I'm still hitting lifetime PRs, and I've been doing this for 13 years. So how do you keep hitting lifetime PRs even after 13 years of training? And I've really thought of basically a foolproof method of how three tips, guys, three things you need to manipulate to keep basically hitting PRs forever for the rest of your life, unless you get a crippling injury or anything like that. But assuming nothing unforeseen happens, I want to explain to you guys how you can honestly like keep making progress fucking forever. And I used to think that was impossible. I used to think you would naturally reach a lot of plateaus. But after all the progress I've been making recently, and I don't say that to brag, it's just like I have been making a lot of progress, I've changed my theory on whether or not you can just keep hitting PRs. And I believe if you manipulate these three factors, you actually can just keep hitting PRs. So what the three things you need to manipulate are: exercise variation, rep range variation, and gaining weight. Those are the three things I'm going to explain them, guys. So I was plateaued on the deadlift for a while. Why? Because all I did was fucking deadlift. When I started experimenting with different variations, for example, doing block pulls, not only did obviously my block pulls go up, but I actually hit a few lifetime PRs on the deadlift, which I will just briefly share with you guys so you know I'm not bullshitting, so you know I'm actually pretty decently strong. So since doing block pulls, we've hit a few lifetime PRs on deadlift, being 425 for 25 reps conventional, that's done in one set, 425 for 25, 465 for 20 conventional, and 455 for 22 sumo. There might have even been another PR, I forget, I don't have a great mental memory of that, but those are at least three I can think of that I've done in the last month or two, since including different exercise variations. For example, the block pulls, it helps add to your deadlift. But if you just do the big three, if you just deadlift, you're gonna stall out on your deadlift. But when you introduce variations and get good on those exercises, then when you go back to the deadlift, you'll get really strong. So for example, if you're stalled out on your squat, try a box squat for a few months, get really strong on that, and then go back to your regular squat and your squat will fucking blow up. You know what I mean? So that's the first factor, exercise variation. You can't just be doing the same exercise over and over. You have to get strong on a variety of different exercises. And when you plateau on one, you switch it up and do another one. Now, the second factor to keep making progress forever, and I'd say actually the most important of the three, would be rep range variation. Guys, so many people are dead set and stubborn on just training in that damn 1 to 5 rep range, or 1 to 3 rep range, or 1 to 8 rep range. I'm mainly talking about powerlifters because bodybuilders have enough sense to train in like a variety of different rep ranges. Guys, me personally, I'll train in anywhere from 1 to 30 reps, and I get benefits from all of those rep ranges. Anywhere from a 1 rep max all the way up to a 30 rep set, which I'll do. I'll sometimes even do a 40 rep set. I did 135 for 40 on the bench press, and look at the size of the physique. Like, it fucking works, guys. You know what I mean? So I'll do anywhere from 1 to 30 for the most part, occasionally 40. I even one time did 315 on conventional deadlift for 52 reps. So that's a 50 plus rep set. The point is, I'm not an idiot. I realize all different rep ranges have their benefits and all different rep ranges work. So many people are like, powerlifting, that's 1 to 5 reps. I'm like, shut the fuck up, retard. No, it's not. If you want to be a good powerlifter, train in a variety of different freaking rep ranges, and don't be so stubborn that you only train low reps. It's retarded, guys. So you have to vary your rep ranges, because here's another thing to consider, guys. If you're just training 1 rep, 2 reps, 3 reps, 4 reps, or 5 reps, essentially the 1 to 5 rep range, that only gives you 5 different possibilities of what you can PR your weights on for rep ranges. But the beauty is, if you train in the 1 to 30 rep range, you now have 30 different rep numbers that you can set a weight PR on. That's 6 times as much variation, guys. Think about that. I can hit a PR on my 28 rep max, on my 25 rep max, on my 22 rep max, on my 20 rep max, on my 18 rep max, on my 15 rep max, 12 rep max, 10 rep max, 8 rep max, 6 rep max, 5 rep max, 3 rep max, 1 rep max, and anywhere in between. It gives you so many different like options of what you can PR on, guys, which means you'll never get stuck, which means you can keep hitting PRs. You know, like one thing I would recommend is never do like the same weight or the same rep range 2 workouts in a row. I mean, you can, but it's easier to progress when you switch to weights and switch to reps. So for example, I went from 585 for 12 off blocks to 605 for 11 off blocks to 625 for 8 off blocks. See, I'm always changing the weight on the bar and changing the amount of reps while progressing in a natural progressive overload, trajectory, right, guys? So the first factor, vary the exercises. The second factor, vary the rep ranges. And I'd say the most important thing is to vary the rep ranges. The third factor, which is very simple, be willing to gain weight, guys. It's going to be hard to really progress on your lifts if you're not willing to gain 5 or 10 pounds, here and there, every couple months, every 3 or 4 months or 6 months, gain 5 or 10 pounds, get to a new heavier weight, like right now I'm maintaining around 190-ish, you know what I mean? But a few years ago I was maintaining 170-ish, and a year or two before that 160-ish, and then 150-ish. Like back in, I think, what was it? Well, let me think, guys. I think actually it's crazy, back in 2023, I think January 2023, I was like 150 pounds, right? I was leaner than I am now, but I was 150 fucking pounds. Now I'm 190 pounds. So at 190, I'm probably like, 15, 16, 17% body fat. At 150, I was like 10% body fat. But the point is, if you've gained 40 pounds and you're not a fat ass, you've definitely gained some fucking muscle. So like your mean average weight should go up over time if you're trying to get stronger on the lift. So that's about it, guys. Those are my 3 ways to progress indefinitely, to just keep progressing. To summarize, vary the exercises, vary the rep ranges, and be willing to gain weight. And I think if you do those 3 things, you can honestly keep making progress forever, keep setting PRs forever. So this is foolproof advice, or at least it's worked for me, guys. Hope it works for you. Give it a shot. Have a good one. God bless.